We making moves. We making major moves. We making moves. We making major moves. We going all in. Like we got nothing to lose. We making moves. We making major moves.
What is up, everybody? I'm Mr. Man. Welcome back to my channel. If you haven't been to my channel before, welcome. I bring fire news, not even news, I bring fire documentation into what's going on in the digital realm and world and keep you updated. Today we are going to be going over the eHKD. I've done this before, but this is very, very different. This is now talking about retail use cases. We're going to be going into Project Victoria. We're going to be going into Visa and HSBC with the HKMA, and I will show you China's newest clearinghouse as of 2018 and how this has to do with Ripple and Fubon Bank and eHKD, or the hypothetical eHKD. Anyways, this here, what we have here, PwC releases a report on eHKD implementation for low balance retail investors. Here's that report. Programmable payments and investments, cash management, and here, eHKD use case exploration for the eHKD pilot program. So it's all about use cases. In this report, there are challenge, solution architecture. There are pilot solutions, workflow designs. We're not going to be going over all of these. Benefits of summary, conclusion, aspects of further exploration, and then the team. I want to go over the design with you. We don't have to go over the executive summary. It's just talking about CBDCs and the different use cases that they had dabbled into. High-level use case description. Here we go. So our pilot was designed to study how programmable eHKD could enable investors to enjoy a faster turnaround and a closer to real-time market price when subscribing to investment funds. As the eHKMA, or the HKMA, Hong Kong Monetary Authority, has not reached a policy description or decision on whether or when to introduce an eHKD, which I guarantee you they will. Not financial advice. Subsequent, that's why they're spending billions of dollars. Billions of dollars. Mention of the eHKD within this paper refers to a hypothetical version created by the ARDA email HKD Limited. Or Imali. Okay. So the ARDA Imali is the wholly owned subsidy of ARDA Techfin that participated in the HKMA eHKD pilot program in 2023. Here's the workflow that they were looking at. This is the area that you and I would be in here, operating within here, the pre-funded vault or wallet, looking to get funded by the market participant at that point. Could be the bank, could be a financial institute of some sort. Once the conditions are met, and it comes out to the market fund and then out to the market manager at that point. So that's what they were looking at. So I'm not going to spend too much time on that. Here is another consultant group. This is about real estate tokenization. All right, this is KPMG. An overview of what they are doing. Global commerce, commercial real estate investment reached an unprecedented high of $830 billion in 2019. Real estate is traditionally one of the most illiquid asset classes, requiring significant capital commitments and entailing long, expensive transaction processes. As a more liquid way to gain access to the real estate sector, Real Estate Investment Trust, or REITs, has outperformed other major asset classes over the long run. In 2019, the S&P Global REIT Index increased by 18.7%, increasing demand from new investors for increased access and from existing investors for greater liquidity, gives an impetus to transform the real estate's investment landscape. A new wave of technology is bringing greater efficiency, higher security, and lower costs to the financial industry, among which tokenization heralds innovative real estate products for a digital era. So this is what we will be talking about today.
There's a lot of talk about central bank digital currencies and how they could be the future of money. But what exactly are they?
CBDC is like the constant note, but it takes a digital end-to-end form. It's issued by the central bank. It's fully backed up by the government. It is also a legal tender, meaning that everyone can transact using the digital currency, just like constant note.
So CBDCs are a new form of digital currency. How are they different from crypto?
Fundamentally, they're all digital currencies using the underlying distributed ledger technology or blockchain to operate. That is where their commonality essentially exists, and that is where it essentially ends. CBDCs are centrally managed and are a direct liability of a central bank.
The legal status is different. It's regulated for sure, but the other cryptocurrencies that we see in the past few years, many of them, they are not regulated.
While cryptocurrencies can be used as a form of payment, but because their price volatility is so high, essentially what you may transact today, the value may be completely different tomorrow or the day after, and therefore they're an inconvenient form of payment. However, it does happen in a peer-to-peer manner. CBDCs would be essentially a very stable form of payment because the central bank is ensuring that there is complete stability.
How are CBDCs different from transferring money on my banking app or paying for things with my phone?
You're using a fundamentally different payment rail, which is a brand new payment rail based on distributed ledger technology that in essence brings a lot of efficiencies that we are now exploring to see how those efficiencies can translate into benefits to consumers and merchants alike who would be using this.
So CBDCs should have a faster and more efficient payment rail, which is the technical infrastructure that settles digital payment transfers. And that could make transactions cheaper. What else could they potentially do?
Programmable money is an interesting concept because we're trying to explore whether you can apply that to different types of use cases, including fraud. Programmable money allows us to issue money, transfer, or make that money used only under specified terms and conditions. So theoretically, what we can do is make sure that that money is not being transferred or used until certain products or services have benefited the consumer.
What sort of issues surrounding CBDCs need to be ironed out before we see them being widely rolled out?
Instantaneous cross-border transaction will be the ultimate goal. But there are still technical challenges to overcome. One is throughput. Just imagine that you have millions of customers using CBDC, and that could be tens of thousands of transactions every second. So achieving this throughput still is a question that needs to be resolved. We have a separate team of researchers looking into the trade-off, for example, throughput, data piracy, security, and look at the different combinations of design factors and try to come up with some analysis and maybe recommendations to the regulator how to go forward.
In terms of partnerships, HSBC and the Hong Kong University of Science and Technology are working together to study future fintech, including CBDCs. How does this partnership work?
It provides us with access to research and research facilities. We have 4 significant laboratories running on CBDCs, quantum computing, fraud mitigation, and credit modeling as examples. And the lens there is different because we have our own analytics communities, but they have researchers that are on the leading edge of these kinds of things.
HSBC also engaged its own staff, experts in working with us on CBDC, in particular in the area of technical research. We gain a lot from HSBC, from their experience and also their perspective.
It's extremely important for us to have a good academic connectivity with innovation, thought leadership outside of the walls of our own bank. So it's really critical for us to have that connection.
So before we go any further, HSBC, January 17th, 2017, I've been through this before. HSBC appoints Technology Advisory Board. And there we have Steve Kirsch, Chris Larson. All right, Chris Larson, executive team on Ripple. So here we go. Hang Seng completes real-life simulation of hypothetical eHKD. Following the HKMA announcement in May about 3 eHKD use cases of Hong Kong or Hang Seng Bank, being selected for HKMA's eHKD pilot program, Hang Seng successfully completed real-life simulations for the programmable payment use case this month. Hang Seng collaborated with the Hong Kong Cyberport Management Company, the Chinese University of Hong Kong, and other enterprises to enable more than 100 individual consumers, CUHK teachers and students, and Hang Seng staff to pay with Hang Seng's hypothetical eHKD wallet in 7 merchant outlets. So they utilize this use case right in the university. Participants experienced the many benefits of central bank digital currencies. CBDCs typically enable faster, more personalized, and secure transactions. So there's merchants, the grant payments, peer-to-peer transfers. And that was the end of that. And here's just some pictures and some snapshots. We're all happy. We're utilizing this in the school. Probably paying for something at the cafeteria, looks like. Here are the students utilizing it now. Snappity snap snap. They're using the QR codes. So that is an overview of it. Standard Chartered completes eHKD offline CBDC trial. All right, so Standard Chartered. Remember, Standard Chartered is with Ripple. Just quickly, here it is. Back in 2018, Standard Chartered completes strategic investment in Ripple. Okay. Standard Chartered Bank has announced that it has made a strategic investment in Ripple, a leading distributed ledger company. This investment will further accelerate the bank's digitization agenda in the area of distributed ledger tech as it explores new ways of adding value to its clients and industry. All right, so just remember, Ripple is in there more than swimwear. More than swimwear. So here we are back at the article. The tests ran over several months with participation of 200 individuals and at least 10 merchants. Participants were issued with hypothetical eHKD with eHKD. Okay, they were issued eHKD on Ripple's CBDC platform, which they could spend at the selected retails based on a gallery of photos, offline payments used, prepaid smart cards, as well as NFC function on smartphones. The trials covered a variety of sectors, including public transport, campus merchants at the University of Hong Kong, we've been through that, restaurants, and offline flea market festivals. This allowed Standard Chartered to gauge the effectiveness of offline eHKD payments in small value, high volume transaction environments. G&D was the technology partner. G&D, that's the name I can't really say. Guys, sacrifice and the variant. Yep, them. So, Bank of China. BOCHK launches hypothetical eHKD pilot to examine using eHKD for prepaid services now. So, Bank of China has officially commenced a hypothetical eHKD pilot to examine the use case of eHKD for prepaid services. Initially, a group of employees will be able to purchase prepaid services contracts through the BOC, the Bank of China Pay, Bank of China payment mobile applications. Subsequently, eligible customers will be invited to participate by the small and medium-sized enterprise, or SMEs, involved in the pilot program. Bank of China has already successfully integrated smart contracts into its eHKD use case and commenced this pilot of prepaid consumption applications. During the pilot program, the bank has onboarded approximately 10 merchants from various sectors such as beauty, medical, fitness, and education. Participants can purchase prepaid service contracts from their chosen participating merchants through the BOC Pay. Customers' prepaid funds are then converted into the eHKD within their personal accounts, which are subsequently managed and operated by smart contracts. When customers make purchases, the smart contracts automatically execute according to predetermined conditions and facilitate payments to the merchants. Woo! So we're talking about prepaid. Okay, we'll come back to this one. So we're talking about prepaid. Visa and HSBC trial tokenized deposits in the eHKD. Whew. prepaid. Here we go. Here we go. Visa, HSBC, and Seng Bank, which we've been through, say they have concluded participation in the Hong Kong Monetary Authority eHKD tokenized deposits pilot for a CBDC. The program, which is part of the city's broader FinTech 2025 strategy, aims to explore the practicalities and benefits of a Hong Kong digital dollar. The initiative focused on the tokenization of bank deposits. The process involves the conversion of money held in bank into digital tokens on a blockchain ledger, backed by the bank's balance sheet. While B2B bank-to-bank payments use tokenized commercial bank money, the hypothetical eHKD CBDC was used for the interbank settlements. Two use cases in the experiment were for high-value property payments and for the settlement of credit card transactions between the acquiring bank and the merchants. Particularly in real estate example, blockchain enables atomic settlements where the payment and the asset both happen simultaneously. This reduces settlement risk. Otherwise, someone can pay for the real estate, but the transfer of the property might not occur simultaneously. Real estate, you say, huh? Real estate. So this is the press release now, or the Visa statement with HSBC about that pilot. So high-level summary. As part of the HKMA's eHKD pilot, Visa alongside HSBC and Hang Seng has successfully completed the pilot for tokenized deposit use case. In a global first, Visa collaborated with two leading banks in Hong Kong to explore the atomicity and interoperability of on-us and cross-chain payments across two key interbank payment flows using tokenized deposits settled over wholesale. So I'm going to go back to this original, this here. This is what we're looking at. This is how it looks. Just like that. All right? This is how it looks. This is us over here, the investor. This is with the bank, the fund manager, and then it gets settled intra-bank right there. That's how that looks. Visa collaborated with two leading banks. Did I read that? To explore key interbank settlements. Okay, deposits settled over CBDC. Tokenized deposits is a developing area relating to tokenization, generally referred to the digital representation of bank deposits, where money deposited with a bank is minted on the institution's own blockchain ledger with the backing of the financial institution's balance sheet. The two interbank payments flows, which were tested in this pilot, property payments and acquirer merchant settlements, were tailored to deliver a range of potential benefits focused on the Hong Kong market. The property payments, acquire merchants there, and in the other scenarios there, designed to be a global, always-on infrastructure. Measure of availability uptime of tokenization payment services. During the pilot, the Visa platform offered banks a network availability that was available to after hours and during the weekends through a platform designed to be always on 24/7 365 infrastructure. Our testing was completed using blockchain networks that were available globally and supported by teams and other time zones. Time zone shifting, here we go, including time slots that could be after hours for traditional payments. Next steps. In the next coming years, tokenization presents a significant industry opportunity with untapped potential, meaning it's not ready yet. They're doing these things as pilots, doing them as tests. Hold your horses, be patient. Your wealth is on the way. All right? Like Raoul Paul says, do not F this up. Learn, study, figure out what's going on, and if you don't have the capacity to learn and find these documents on your own, by all means follow my page. I will present these things to you guys and show you what's coming up. Visa plans to continue investing and exploring different use cases across all our regions with an anticipated focus on three key areas: tokenized asset markets and programmable finance, expansion of retail solution, and digital cross-border payments. So here we are now talking about retail investments in real estate, Project Victoria, settlements of tokenized assets with hypothetical eHKD with Ripple and Fubon Bank. Let me go back to that press release now. Here we go. This is the press release for that project I was just showing you. Fubon, Hong Kong, and Ripple to showcase a novel home equity line of credit, HELOC. What a HELOC is a home equity line of credit. The way I would capitalize on this as an investor, I'd purchase a property. I'd find a property that's undervalued. Other properties in the area could be worth $500,000. I find the property that's more of a derelict state could be worth $300,000. Should be worth $500,000 like every other one, but it's worth $300,000 for whatever reason. Buy that property, renovate it. The strategy is called BRRRR. Buy, renovate, refinance, repeat. Buy that property, renovate that property, increase the value. Speak to a what are they called there? The people that come back to your property there and reevaluate the property. Anyways, they'll do another reevaluate of the property and say the property after the renovations are now worth $500,000. So you've taken that $300,000, put a bit of investment in that to renovate, increase the value to $500,000. You've created imaginary money. You can now tap into that money. That's a HELOC. That is a HELOC, home equity line of credit. Fubon Bank and Ripple today announced the results and shared the insights of their home equity line of credit use case in the eHKD pilot program. As two of the participants in the HKMA eHKD pilot program, Fubon Bank and Ripple demonstrate a use case for the settlement of tokenized assets, which combines digital innovation with traditional banking processes, potentially allowing customers to embark on a seamless journey towards unlocking the untapped equity in their properties. Boom. In the proposed solution, Fubon Bank, Ripple, and its partners are employing state-of-the-art technology to provide a novel HELOC pilot project. This transformative process begins with Fubon Bank securely minting a hypothetical eHKD. Fubon Bank is the retail bank, supported by a ledger fortified with robust multi-sig functionality, which at that point is Ripple. Ripple is that ledger, that infrastructure.
New opportunities, convenience, security, and empowerment, a higher efficiency for business. For Hong Kongers like Ying, this is what the hypothetical digital Hong Kong dollar, or eHKD, may represent. A central bank digital currency, leading to accelerated and simplified traditional financial processes to speed up money flows with less resistance and cost, benefiting buyers, sellers, and the economy at large. Processes that take weeks of paperwork between third parties will be completed almost instantly in a few clicks. As part of the eHKD pilot program, Fubon Bank, Ripple, and partners have spent months developing a faster way to unlock home equity and turn it into credit through a home equity line of credit loan, or HELOC loan, dramatically shortening the application process. It starts in the Fubon Bank online portal. Ying sees his currently mortgaged properties, picks the one he wants additional credit on. Fubon Bank already pre-qualified the amount of equity Ying can realize based off the property value and criteria such as income, credit history, prepayment history, and other information. Ying reviews the offer and terms, then confirms. The bank's interest in the mortgaged property, the lien, is tokenized safely and transparently on the blockchain ledger. This token, once deposited in the lending protocol vault, activates Ying's ability to borrow. He just decides how much credit he wants, and in his vault dashboard, details around asset and liability update in real time. From LTV, interest, repayment terms, asset liability, total loan amount, it's all there. Quick transparency into personal finances, making it easy to budget costs if a bigger loan is needed. The credit instantly appears as hypothetical eHKD minted securely by Fubon Bank using the Ripple CBDC platform, each being worth $1 Hong Kong dollar and can be used immediately. A part of the money is used as a deposit for Ying's son's down payment on a new home. The rest of the loan can be used to finance his daughter's last year of university. Ying turned his home equity into credit to be used however he needs, with a few clicks from the comfort of his own home, without hoops to jump through. without annoying paperwork, without needing to travel, visit, and consult multiple third parties. And as the hypothetical eHKD ecosystem grows, so will benefits from the trend, from increased productivity to time saved and lower cost per transaction, to eventually seamless exchange of hypothetical eHKD as a CBDC all over the world. That's the exciting potential of hypothetical eHKD. Unlocking your home equity is only the beginning. Being able to send and spend money how you want, where you want, without burden. That's the real power. And that's the vision of the future Fubon Bank, Ripple, and partners are exploring under the HKMA's eHKD pilot program.
So for those of you that are not aware, you saw Toko there. Toko is built on the Hedera network. This is Toko. Toko solves the inefficiencies of today's capital market, leveraging the best distributed ledger technology available. Toko is a digital asset creation engine created by DLA Piper, a Hedera governing council member that couples the compliance and regulatory rigor of a global law firm with the innovative technology solutions of tomorrow. So you saw when they were doing the loan application there, that was Toko being utilized. That's the Hedera network. The entire platform, the infrastructure for this now is being built on top of Ripple. On top of Ripple. That's how this is working. Back to Project Victoria now. Here's the participants: Ripple, Fubon Bank, Code Labs. I will go into them afterwards. There's Toko, Hex Trust. They are the custody service, and BCW. I haven't figured them out yet. So what do we want to dive in today? The CBDC platform. Boom. To implement the hypothetical eHKD for Project Victoria, Ripple has deployed a custom version of its CBDC platform consisting of the digital currency manager, a CBDC ledger, and an EVM sidechain. Together, these components provide the efficiency, secure basis for operating a digital currency such as the eHKD through the CBDC ledger and DCI, while providing the functionality afforded by smart contracts through the linked EVM sidechain. Of each of these components will now be considered in more detail. Here's how it looks. I'm not gonna sit there and break that down for you guys. Have a look at it though, enjoy it. I'll zoom in. That's how that looks. That's the process, the value, the multi-process, multi-sig there, the witnesses, servers, and then you have the signing of it over there, the authorization, if you will. The private ledger is built using XRP Ledger technology, a proven blockchain that has over 80 million ledgers closed over the course of 10 years, with billions of dollars at risk, and is trusted by financial institutions. Trusted by financial institutions. Trusted. This is how the CBDC platform would look, utilizing Ripple's technology. Right, reserve. There's the XRP needed for this platform. They need this. They need this. So I've shown you the reserve there. I had posted this on May 7th. For security reasons, every participant in RippleNet must hold a small amount of XRP. Why is that? Why do they have to have a small amount of XRP? Right there. This is why. They need to have their reserves. So anybody in it, just like you and me, if you're utilizing XRP, must hold a small amount of XRP. That's 300 plus financial institutions holding a sum of XRP waiting for clarity as well. And here's my proof. I had posted this here. This is via, I don't remember where this document was from, but it says here, for security purposes, every user of RippleNet must hold a small amount of XRP. Within the network, payments can either be processed directly via XRP debit payments or indirectly via path-based currency agnostic IOU settlements. Whew, that's interesting, huh? Ripple's DCI manages the life cycle of the hypothetical eHKD issued by Fubon Bank or a central bank, and has been configured to meet the required workflow. Inputs are tracked with a secure multi-signature issuance function. Issuances of the eHKD by Fubon Bank is secured under the 4 eyes principle, meaning that at least 2 individuals must approve any transaction before submission to the CBDC ledger. Distribution is a segregated function which can also be configured for multi-user authorization needs. So, we're talking about tokenization here. Tokenized property-backed secured lending with a ring-fenced usage. Let's check it out.
Digital currency, such as a retail central bank digital currency, can be the building blocks for future financial products beyond just payments. Let's take a look at our pilot use case, tokenized property-backed secured lending with ring-fenced usage. A group of leading industry players came together under the HKMA's first eHKD pilot program with one question in mind. How can hypothetical eHKD potentially enable a lending solution that is more flexible and personalized? Imagine needing $100,000 to pay for a medical expense. Most banks do not offer mortgages for such a small loan, and unsecured loans can be expensive to borrow. What if you can fractionalize your property into 100 tokens and just use 10 tokens as collateral for secured lending whenever you need it, using VSFG's asset tokenization technology? When it comes to lending, banks typically offer financing rates based on the borrower's credit profile. Picture a bank that can provide you with a loan featuring a more personalized financing rate, a rate which is based on the lower risk of your declared loan usage. ZA Bank tested the possibility of this feature by leveraging the potential programmability of eHKD, ensuring the loan is ring-fenced for its declared usage only. Finally, you need a wallet to manage and spend the money. With HKT Payments Digital Wallet, you can use your ring-fenced eHKD to pay merchants matching the intended loan usage. Once the merchant receives the payment, it'll become general-purpose eHKD. Potential features of eHKD, such as programmability and atomic settlement with tokenized assets, have been explored in this pilot. The implementation of eHKD is still under consideration and no firm decision has been made. We look forward to a world where diverse forms of digital currencies can coexist, enabling us to provide improved, faster, and more cost-effective solutions to foster economic growth.
So just quickly there, do you see the DLA Piper? We had gone through that with Toko, with Hedera. This here, BCG, let me show you that. Boston Consultant Group, close this. Boston Consultant Group says Ripple Tech often outperforms banks, cites crypto as increasingly relevant in cross-border payments. So here we have the BCG, Boston Consultant Group, navigating the digital asset ecosystem. Not going to read the whole thing, just want to jump down to right here. Partner to benefit from network effects and shape the ecosystem. So who are those partners? Finally, even if this infrastructure is developed, the applicative and product marketplace offerings are still missing or remain more unclear than the internet was in the 1990s, before Google, Facebook, or Amazon. This will require new market dynamics, further ecosystem collaborations, and even integration. Some of the strong cryptocurrency niche platform players like Ethereum, Cardano, Tezos, and Ripple, or Web3, could be useful partners for more traditional players, given their accumulative experience. And we are going through Ripples. So here we are now. This is, what's this? Tokenized? Code Labs. This is, what's this guy's name? Welfare. Something Welfare with Ripple. And this is the guy from Code Labs. Let's just jump into this here and I'll let you view it yourself and you can see. They'll tell you their names.
Welcome everyone back to CBRC podcast and the use case register. And today I'm very excited to be sharing the next use case with Divium, which is a decentralized real estate lending solution. And this is with Code Lab. This
is who we're talking about here. This is Anthony Welfare, CBDC strategic advisor at Ripple. Anthony is one of the leading experts in the commercial blockchain space, with significant practical experience working with leading global organizations in developing strategies and implementing enterprise and business blockchain solutions. Working on over 50 blockchain technology projects on various blockchain platforms, including Ethereum, Hyperledger, Corda, Symbol, and XRP Ledger, early investors in many platforms, ICOs, STOs, and Web3 platforms. That's who this guy is. Let's go into Code Labs so you have an understanding who Code Labs is. So UK's Code Labs to provide lending tech for HKMA CBDC pilot with Ripple and Fubon Bank. I told you guys I'm giving you a well-rounded whole visual view of what's going on here with these pilot projects. Ripple and Taiwan's Fubon Bank have selected UK digital assets consultancy Code Lab to provide the lending protocol technology for a central bank digital currency pilot with the HKMA. The pilot is seeking to combine a simulated CBDC and tokenized real estate within the mortgage lending process as part of the regulator's three-rail approach to its digital currency platform, which began a year ago. Running in parallel with each other, Rail 1 involves establishing the technological and legal framework for CBDCs, while Rail 2 consists of industry pilots and correcting design and implementation issues. Depending on the progress of these two rails, the regulators intend for them to eventually merge, at which point it's expected to unveil a timeline for final issuance. Code Lab says its technology will enable the creation of ultra-flexible credit with bricks and mortar real estate serving as collateral. The firm will also apply its BankView product to the pilot, with Fubon Bank acting as administrator and the HKMA as overseer. So back to where we were now. Now that you have an understanding of who these individuals are and what we are watching here, okay?
Without any sort of further aside, let's introduce Divyam. Divyam, welcome to the podcast. And if you'd like to introduce yourself, and then we'll talk about your exciting project.
Well, thanks very much for having me, Anthony. Happy to introduce myself. I'm Divyam. I'm a director at Code Lab. We're a full-service digital assets consultancy. In addition to helping large companies, we also have internal products, one of which is the Code Lab HELOC, and that's the actual product that forms the basis of our application under Anthony's initiative. So, yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
Brilliant. So talk to us about the real estate lending and HELOC as well, because I don't think many people would know what HELOC is. So maybe if we start with HELOC and
yeah, sure. It's a great place to start. So HELOC is actually a reasonably new term for us. We decided to apply it to the technology that we've got because it's just it sounds cool, but the actual letters stand for Home Equity Line of Credit. So the reason for that acronym is to differentiate what we've done to what would be a typical real estate loan in flexibility primarily. So normally when you go to a bank with your property, you lodge your property as collateral, and then you borrow some money in return. If something goes pear-shaped, the bank gets to keep your property.
Most people that's called equity release, they'll know that as, wouldn't they? I think
exactly. Equity release, or even in the form of a normal mortgage where you're
okay, so
either or, equity release or a normal mortgage. That's the way in which it operates. You've got the fixed repayments. So you're given a big sum that's used to purchase your house, or it's just given to you for a new house in equity release. Or something else, and then you repay every month a certain amount. But with the HELOC, and what we tried to sort of introduce into the mainstream system, is a way to lodge the property as collateral, and then for a credit facility to be made available to you as a borrower. So a credit facility is essentially a flexible way to draw down the total which you've been offered. So say your normal house is worth £1 million, and you decide to release 20% of it in equity. You'll be given 200,000 in your bank account. And then you just have to keep repaying it. You've got no flexibility. But if with the HELOC, you'll be given that same 200,000, but it will be a facility. So day one, you don't have to interact with it. You can.
So it's like a limit. So you can borrow up to 200,000 in this example.
Exactly, at any time up to that. And then, the thing is, you might decide one day you've got, for example, your children's tuition fees who are studying abroad. You might need to make the first payment of 30,000. You draw down your 30, but then, very importantly, you'll only accrue interest on the 30,000 that you've drawn down.
Okay.
So that's where it becomes very attractive. So instead of immediately this 200,000 facility,
and the interest rate on 200,000, yeah,
exactly, especially in the current interest rate environment,
yes,
you could kind of the HELOC is, I think, it's very similar to saying it's a property-backed credit card. So imagine you had a credit card, you go and spend, you only accrue interest on what you spend, and then on nothing more. I mean, the only
you can pay that. You could pay that back. So say the 30,000 tuition fees we said. I could pay that next month or in 5 years, or how does that bit work?
It's a good question.
Listen to this line here. This is a hot line. This is new to me now, okay? Like I've listened to this earlier, but just as we go through this again, it just more hits you the longer you listen to it. Normally, there are daily accrual interest payments, right? And it compounds over the day. Now, what they have is second by second or block by block. Listen to this.
As a gimmick for us, but we implemented the interest accruing second by second, or in blockchain terms, block by block.
Yeah.
That was initially as a gimmick, just to show the HKMA. This is how granular you can get, what's accruing on your books. Then we started to think from a credit risk point of view from within a bank.
Yeah.
And say, for example, you had 100 of these facilities all open, these HELOCs across 100 clients. Seeing a second by second accrual of interest could potentially be very useful for you as a member of back-end staff, because you're able to, every day, for example, there'll be a reconciliation of positions. No matter who you are within the bank, you can open a snapshot and you can see exactly what your credit position is at that point. And that might give you a favorable, you might be able to go to someone who you need to borrow, another bank need to borrow liquidity off for the day and say, look, this is exactly where we are. So give us X. There's no need to wait for the end of the day for reconciliation. So it started off novel, then it evolved, and then actually it evolved so much that the University of Cambridge and the World Economic Forum invited me to talk about this at their supervisory tech conference back in November. And the granularity and the transparency is what they were very, very keen on.
Wow. And that's amazing. A great story as well. It's really interesting. I think.
Just moving along here. So BCG, Boston Consulting Group, says the eHKD CBDC tokenized deposits could add 160 billion with a B to GDP in Hong Kong. That's money right there. That's money. We saw these players already. What they didn't include, or who they didn't include, was Ripple. But we know, because we've been through the documents already, Ripple is a part of this. That's how they increased the GDP to 60 billion. As part of Hong Kong's central bank CBDC trials, one of the pilot use cases involved using tokenized real estate or real-world asset real estate, such as real estate. This was used as collateral for a restricted loan in eHKD. The BCG, HKT, Telecom Payments, and ZA Bank led the pilot. As part of the findings, BCG concluded that digital currencies, including CBDC, tokenized deposits, and stablecoins, could add 160 billion, or 5.5% to the GDP by 2032. So to add more context there, in that article, they were talking about CBDC and stablecoin. Here is what they are talking about. Back to these two gentlemen here.
Just to clarify for the viewers,
Sure.
well, CBDC, commercial digital currency, and sort of stable coins, sort of government or bank issued, stable coins. So digital euro, digital pound, digital dollar, any of the currencies that people hear at the moment is a digital equivalent. So they don't really exist at the moment, a digital currency purely issued by government and banks. And I think so what Divian is saying really here is that needs to sort of move forward first. And there's regulation appearing. So in Europe, we've got MiCA regulation. The UK is starting to bring in regulation. So, for viewers looking forward, it's basically, a digital equivalent of the pound, dollar, euro you have in your bank account, but it's actually a digital money. So it works in the way that Divian can use it with his team, i.e. it can be made very quick, cheap, fractionalized, etc. So I think just to give the viewers a bit of an understanding of the whole digital money side, which is the big part that is progressing very quickly at the moment.
Yeah, very helpful. That's great supplementing piece of information to what I'm saying, especially for those that don't know about the kind of global system around CBDCs as it is. And another,
as we talk about regulations being implemented, I posted this morning to my Twitter. CFBP, Consumer Finance, established rules of standards for standard setting body. So the CFPB establishes rules for standard settings bodies. The Consumer Finance Protection Bureau, that's it, has finalized a rule detailing the requirements for becoming a recognized industry standard setting body. The rule is designed to assist companies in complying with the Consumer Finance Protection Bureau forthcoming personal financial data rights rule. It outlines the qualifications that standard setting bodies must meet to receive recognition from the CFPB. Additionally, the rule provides a comprehensive guide for standard setters to apply for recognition and explains how the CFPB will evaluate these applications. CFPB representatives talked about the importance of preventing dominant firms from manipulating standards to maintain their market dominance. The rule aims to address the issues by establishing attributes that the CFPB will consider when recognizing standard setters. According to the consumerfinance.gov, the CFPB is actively working towards advancing open banking in the U.S. In 2010, Congress passed legislation granting consumers new personal financial data rights. Enforcing these rights is expected to create opportunities for smaller financial institutions and startups. So that's where things are heading. And my remarks to that is, watch. You think life is going by fast now. It is going to pick up tenfold like you would not believe. You would not believe. I do want to show one more thing still. Back down here, we're on the Ripple project, Victoria. Just so we're all aware and all on the same page, there are two documents to this one project. There's the settlement of tokenized assets with the eHKD white paper, and then there is this. All right, this is the design paper. There are two of them, and I got both of them, obviously. Here we go. So actualizing this use case required the assembly of a consortium of fintech providers for leading technology and experts in CBDCs and asset tokenization. The consortium includes leaders and DLT lending protocol tokenization of assets and custody solution. Here is the breakdown of who did what. So Ripple was a decentralized infrastructure and CBDC platform. Fubon Bank was the regulated financial service. Code Lab, decentralized lending protocol. Toko, real estate or real world asset tokenization and the property and lien, which we had seen there. Hex Trust, the custody technology and services. BCW is the program management and infrastructure technology. Exploration of the Project Victoria use case involved the execution of 3 significant workstream solutions, designs, POC, proof of concept build, and public engagement. That's what I got for you guys today. I hope you take this information and do something with it, whether you choose to further deep dive into these documents here, which I've shown you, whether you choose to look into real estate and Web3 use cases there and choose to fractionalize real estate and invest in it, whether you choose to invest into some of these companies, that's neither here nor there, because none of this is financial advice. But I hope you found, also Hex Trust here. They are a custody company and they specialize in DeFi as well. So I hope you found value in this. I will catch you on the next one.
We making moves. We making major moves. We making moves.